A man tapped gently on the bima, the Amidah, the 18 blessings. The room shifted. Everyone stood and waited. David's brow furrowed. He leaned toward the older man beside him and whispered, "Why is everyone just standing still?" Inside, he was really thinking, "They woke me up for this?" The man leaned in, his voice gentle but steady. "We're not just praying. We're syncing up, waiting for the moment night becomes day, darkness becomes light, aligning with Hashem's rhythm." Then, as the sun broke through the windows, the men began to whisper. A flicker of memory, his grandfather, whispering, feet together. Ah, thought David, this was what he had been doing. David stood there, watching, not moving. Like discovering a hidden algorithm, he began to see it. This moment, when night turned into day, that's when they prayed. The darkest moment came just before first light. If you could align with that shift, when the darkness became light, maybe your soul could rise with it. He'd never seen prayer this way, not as words, but as rhythm, as timing, as transformation. This wasn't random. This wasn't mechanical. It was a dance, precise, deliberate, timed with something larger than the day itself. A sacred pattern, pulsing beneath the noise. It was the opposite of how he lived, not pushing harder or running faster, just showing up in sync with something deeper, something eternal. Maybe it wasn't all about building. Maybe it was about aligning. And for the first time, he wondered if this was what he'd been missing. Maybe, he thought, there were rhythms in the world he had never even noticed. David stood there, not moving. Something hit him hard. The precision, the coordination. There was a whole system here, not made by men, not taught in business school, one he'd never seen, one that had been running quietly, faithfully in the background of Jewish life. A sacred order, not invented, revealed, and for a man who had built his life on intellect, who prided himself on knowing it all, that realization knocked the wind out of him.